Welcome to Newsroom here on GHOne Television. We are live from our studios at the Platinum Place, Northridge. Also live on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube at GHOne TV. Now, here's what to expect in the next 60 minutes. MP-elect for Akwitia promises to deliver development for Akwitia amidst calls on New Durban South MP Michael Ochre. Former Chief Justice Sufaya Kufu-Wade discourse on historic Gertrude Tokono as CJ. We explore her concerns shortly with Legal Brains. In business, this morning, inflation drops from 12.1% in July 2025 to 11.5% in August 2025. And elsewhere, at least 370 people killed in Sudan landslide. Well, stay with me because I've got details of these stories and more shortly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. The details. Member of Parliament elect for Akwitia, Bernard Bediako-Baidu, says government will deliver the needed development for Akwitia. Speaking to the media after he was declared winner in Tuesday's by-election, Bernard Bediako-Baidu noted that, among other things, the government will ensure sustainable mining in the enclave. He further attributed his victory to effective communication of the NDC's message of hope to the electorate in Akwitia.
The confidence has always been there. It is not just mere confidence out of nothing. It was born out of the good work we had done. After engaging the people, we read their reaction towards the message we gave them, and we saw that it had really imbibed. They gave us a hope, some hope of a sort, which hope has resulted to what we see today. I mean, we've always been very confident. I told you, I don't know whether I told you guys that we've been in this game for a while. If you are in it and you are losing, you will know, except maybe if you don't want to be honest to yourself. I told you what we were working out at that moment I spoke to was with regards to the gap. But as for the win, what are we witnessing? We've won. Okay. I've always said that, you see, when you are going to such contests, there are a lot of things you will hear. But I don't focus on tangentials. The focus is on the main ball. My focus is to have my message delivered, the people accept it, and then they take it up and work to make sure victory is delivered. We've always said that, you see, Akwatia's name has always been with regards to mining. You can't take away the mining, okay? We only have to do it lawfully. That's what we're going to work on. Where we are now is a GCD property. Hitherto, just before Dramani Mahama came to power, the place was in darkness. If you recall, we did the same coalition here, and we had to put on some solar panels and all the lamps and all that. Today, and it wasn't because of the by-elections, it was even done before. Today, we have electricity. It is the first step towards getting GCD back on track, which can employ thousands of people. There are other things we are looking at. Essentially, it is about development, and we will make sure we deliver.
So that's the man who now gets to represent the people of Akwitia in the 9th Parliament. Well, one other man who has been at the center of controversy since the results of the Akwitia by-election was announced is the Member of Parliament for New Durban South, Michael Ochre. If you recall, during an engagement with my colleague Ibrahim Al-Hassan barely 12 hours before the polls, Ochre put his seat on the line by declaring that he will resign if the NPP's candidate Solomon Kwame Asumedu does not win the election in Akwitia.
MPP will take the seat. The margin will be very slim. I believe we'll win the election, but the margin will not be too wide. But we'll win. We have engaged. We have engaged. We have campaigned. We have prosecuted a campaign that has not happened in the history of this constituency before. We have done whatever we have to do. We've done everything. Everything we need to do, we've done it. We've engaged so well, and people have given us assurance. The good news is that there's a young man who had so much a bright future, but he couldn't achieve his aims. So the people want to at least give us the opportunity again to continue. And the fact that this guy, to our candidate, has a very strong goodwill in town. I mean, he's somebody who has done so well for the people. He's so generous. He has paid people's school fees. He has sponsored a lot of people education and business. So this gives him advantage, over his competitors. So I believe that we have a false start. We have a false start in these elections. And confidently, I'm telling you, mark my words, I can even tell you that if we lose this election, I'll resign as a member of parliament. I'm telling you, we'll win these elections. We'll win. If we lose these elections, I'll resign as a member of parliament. I'm telling you, we'll win. By close of day Tuesday, you see that we have won the elections. And that's what, because I believe the work we have done and the God we serve. The God we serve is a good God, and he has given us hope that we'll win the election.
That's Michael Achirbefi and the comments that have made him very popular, not only in Ghana, but also beyond, because it's trending on social media based on these comments. He's later rendered an apology. Some say that's not an apology. Well, the Deputy Director in charge of elections and IT for the NEC, Rashid Tanko Computer, insists that Michael Achirbefi must resign as he promised or be forced to apologize publicly in Parliament.
Vote for a party that will only deliver you press conference. You vote for a party that will bring you development, employment for your youth. And that is what we have done. And clearly, we have to give thumb up to the good people of Akotia, executives of our party, led by our national chairman and the general secretary of the party. Victory is an organic victory, a victory for the people. We are going to Michael Befi constituency.
He says he's apologized, and
we are not accepting it. Nobody's going to. We are not accepting the apology. He must resign. Michael Befi will come to his constituency. We are going to test.
But the honourable turn is also to apologize, and he has apologized. Don't you think you should accept his apology?
Is that what we are saying, honourable members? When you are called honourable, everything of you must be honourable. A gentleman made a categorical statement. I will resign.
He apologized.
Let us go and test their strength in that constituency and see whether that's a strong hold of the MPP. That's why you could stand and say he will resign. He was here with us. We are going to hold him. If he doesn't resign, we will write to the Speaker of Parliament. And he must apologize in the floor of Parliament so that the whole public will see who he is, so that they know that certain activities of people like that should not be countenanced by Ghanaians. They must allow decency in our politicking so that Ghanaians will respect us.
Well, Eastern Regional Secretary of the NPP, Kofi Osei, has jumped to the defense of Achirbefi, insisting calls for his resignation are unfair. According to him, other politicians, including the Communications Minister, have made worse comments and still remain in Parliament. His remark comes amid mounting pressure on the New Durban South MP to step down should the NPP lose their Akwatia seat.
There's pressure, especially on social media, that one of your MPs, Michael Achirbefi, should resign, given the fact that he told us exclusively that he will resign if the MPP does not take the Akwatia seat.
Let me synchronize with what Honorable Kodjo said, that he will resign if the current president pick a private jet or fly with a private jet. He hasn't resigned.
But we don't know that for sure whether the president has flown with a private jet. But we are here in Akwatia for a by-election.
I think he has issued a communique apologizing to the public for his comments. So we'll take it like that.
But it appears the public are not taking it. So I've seen the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer, is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections at the NDC. They say that they are going to hold him to his words. He's an honourable member and he should do the honourable thing.
There are people who have said a lot of worse things that they are still in Parliament. The Communication Minister is even one of them. So I don't think he should be tied to whatever he said. It's a political comment that he made.
So many would have thought that this would have been left to slide because, according to the MPP, it's just a political comment. Well, a section of the general public have also been reacting to this comment made by Michael Achirbefi.
Myself, I was in Akwatia. I came last night and I heard what he said. The statement made by the Honourable Member of Parliament, Honourable Befi, is unwise, irresponsible and reckless. As an honourable member of Parliament, you don't need to make such statements, knowing very well the MPP was going to lose that election. So for me, he should not be forgiven. He should even resign. Some of us are preparing to write a letter to the Speaker of Parliament for him to resign and move out of Parliament, because such statements cannot be accepted by Ghanaians. At least it's an election. Whoever wins is about Ghana. For him, as an old member, to go and make a statement is reckless, and for that matter, he should not be forgiven.
Hold him to his ways, because I believe everyone should be accountable for his actions, and then whatever you say, you should be accountable to that. And I believe that will prove how sincere we are to the country and to ourselves and everyone around us. So I believe we should hold him accountable for his actions.
You have to resign, because in Ghana, excuse me to say, some of our leaders, they are not serious with their ways, because they are the leaders. We are following them. In anything that they do, we learn from them. So right now, when you say something like this and you say you are sorry, that sorry is not enough.
I think we should forgive him, because the only person who keeps promises and fulfills them is Jesus Christ. And so he being a human being, I think we should forgive him. People talk out of desperation sometimes, and when the reality catch up with them, they know that they realize they didn't do well.
The leader, they are leaders for the country. So they set examples so that we can follow. So we should hold him for his words. Once he said you resign, you have to resign.
Well, let's further interrogate these matters. We've been joined by Dr. Amache Boateng to help us understand exactly whether or not political comments need to be held with that much weight. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. Really, this is where we are. He made comments. He says that, he's apologizing in one way or the other. Others say that once he said it, he should be held to his words. Where do you stand?
Thanks for this opportunity, and let me say good morning to your viewers. It's interesting that you are interrogating this issue, because our democracy is supposed to have come of age. We set off as far back as 1993, 7th January, so that if we are here today, 2025, then definitely we've come quite far. The issue at the center is accountability. At the center of the whole brouhaha about, the gentleman's statement is accountability. And once, even here now, I'm calling him a gentleman. Should I call him that? It is good that you engage members of the general public, and I follow that closely. We have only one person out of the number that you talk to, coming up with a position that he should be forgiven. All the others emphasize the issue of accountability, that we should hold him to his words. You see, all these things relate to values in political system. Values in political system. What are our values? How do we hold our leaders? How do we weigh them? How do we what weight or what value do we place on our leaders? And then these leaders engaging members of the general public too. How do they see their actions and inactions? Generally speaking, a member of parliament position places any individual among the elites in the country, and the actions and inactions of elites in public are crucial, so that you are not expected to make ordinary statements. I was going to use some words, but I had to check myself. You can't make such statements. You see that I have difficulty even calling it by.
But Doc, does it make any difference now that he says that he's not even going to contest again in 2028? Does it make things better?
That might be a different thing altogether.
Okay.
We don't know why he's not contesting coming 2028. We are dealing with an issue which is here with us, here and now. We hope people believe that he should be held responsible for his own statements.
Right.
And I subscribe to that. The goal is to infuse values that are genuine, that will help build our system into our body politic, so that our public behavior generally, specifically our public pronouncements, become, weighty.
Right.
We don't just go out and say anything at all.
Absolutely. Doc, thank you so much. Dr. Machibuat is a senior lecturer at the Department of Politics and also History at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Now, during that same by-election, Member of Parliament for Sitify South, Collins Dowda, sparked debate suggesting that road and developmental projects in Akwatia could be influenced by the outcome of yesterday's election. Now, speaking to my colleague Abdul Hanan Adam, the veteran legislator argued that development should align with political support, adding that Akwatia residents should consider this reality when casting their votes. Now, let's listen to exactly what he said.
NDC will win the seat. And the basis is very simple. I am sure the people of Akwatia are looking for development projects. They are looking for jobs for their people. Even though we are all Ghanaians and that we are all entitled to development in the nation. But you know that because of the nature of the politics we do in Ghana, if you have the president belonging to NDC and you have the opportunity to elect somebody to parliament, naturally you would want to elect somebody who would align with the president and his vision. And in this case, it is the NDC candidate. And therefore, my view is that the people of Akwatia will vote for somebody who will align with the sitting president.
But Alhaji, when you say so, are you not twisting the arm of the people behind their backs?
No, I'm not. Making a statement doesn't amount to twisting.
Yeah, but when you say they should vote for your candidate because you are in power.
We are in power. That's the truth of the matter. Unless we want to twist the truth.
Yeah, but it does it.
We are in power.
But does it matter if
we should? Yes, it matters. It matters. We are in majority in parliament. And let me just give a simple analysis. For example, if government budgets to construct about 100 6 classroom blocks across the length and breadth of the country, and every MP goes to lobby. You know, we have about 275 MPs. And so everybody goes in there to lobby for one of the projects. Naturally, the NDC candidate or the NDC MP has an advantage over the MPP candidate. It's simple. We want to help build Akwatia. We want to bring development to Akwatia. If you talk to anybody in Akwatia, he will tell you the roads were done by NDC, water. When I was Minister for Water, Resource Works and Housing, I brought the water system to Akwatia. And the MPP hasn't done anything for the people of Akwatia. So the expectation is that with NDC in power, they are going to have development. And therefore, it is better for them to have an NDC MP.
Well, let's have further discussions on this development. You're joined on phone by Professor Kwame Ajenim-Boateng. He's with the Faculty of Law, Governance and International Relations at King's University. Prof, thank you so much for joining us. So, from what you've heard, was he right?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the work you do for the country. And let me say hello to all your female listeners and if some are watching you on your TV too. Thank you. I think he had some points he made, but the way it came out didn't show very much because, sure, you compare the two parties and you know that it's the NDC which has been sending development projects to many of the countryside and everywhere. As he just said, the roads were constructed by NDC. He was the water minister. He sent water there. So obviously, these are points he can use. But if he will argue that, vote for the president or the president's candidate, it means, as you said, he's trying to twist something. But if you said, vote for the better candidate who will help Akwatia people, I think that will be very good. That will show that, yes, whether somebody wins or loses, he's going to have some projects because because the projects are for the whole country.
Right, and that is where we are having this conversation this morning, because he makes the point that if the people of Akwetia choose the NDC's candidate, because the NDC government is in power, what it does is that it makes it easier and it gives them an edge. And the question is, do we have to throw development at people based on which party is in power and whether or not the MP aligns with the party in power?
Yeah, I will say that vote for the better candidate, for the people of the constituency. But in actual fact, as he has been in politics for a long time and he knows how the system works in the country. And but if you are being very objective and you want someone to vote for you, you can compare the development projects that the two parties have brought to the area instead of saying that, okay, vote for me because the president, the candidate will ally with the president and all that. So you don't bring that in because this is Ghana. It's for all of us. But you compare that as he did somehow. That Akwetia, you have water, you have roads and all that sort of thing. These were brought by this country. This party. So if you bring us in, or if you bring the candidate, it's very likely that he will bring more projects instead of the other candidates. Then you compare it that way instead of making it look like, okay, you do this for me, then you will receive this. Whether the people will vote for the candidate of the president or not, the president is obliged to actually spread the development to all the constituencies in the country. So, but to emphasize it, he should have said that, okay, compare what NDC did for Akwetia, compare what MPP did for Akwetia, and choose. That would have been very simple that way.
Very well. Prof, thank you. Thank you so much for engaging with us on that. But let's stay a bit longer in Akwetia, because after weeks and maybe months of campaigning, rallies, and all that we saw in the lead up to yesterday, the residents are now shifting focus from politics to development. And so the residents in the area, while celebrating the victory of the NDC's candidates, are also now asking for development to be brought to the area.
Akwetia has spoken, and it is a 54% victory for the NDC's Bernard Bediako-Boadu in a by-election charged with passion, suspense, and high stakes.
I, Eric Osu-Jamfi, the returning officer of Akwetia constituency, declare Bernard Bediako-Boadu as MP-elect for Akwetia constituency.
Akwetia Teni Green! Akwetia Teni Green!
And the Diamond Town has swung the pendulum in favor of the NDC, sealing a drastic climax to weeks of fiery campaigning. The MPP admitted a fair contest given the peaceful conduct of the elections and congratulated the NDC for their victory.
Boadu is a friend. I've known him for years. I congratulate him for such a spirited performance that he has put today. We are parties. It's just that we differ in ideologies and philosophies, but we are one party. We have one Ghana to make sure the people in the constituency have the best of the MP that they've elected. So I wish him well.
But beyond the jubilation of Bernard Boadu's victory, residents of Akwetia here in the Denchambor district have a common interest: development and job opportunities, and have vowed to hold the NDC accountable for their promises ahead of the by-election.
I don't think it will be prudent for someone to invest colossal amounts in the children, the kids, to complete university, go to higher institutions, end up being on Galamsey site.
I'm a boy man to me another schools near hospital so hey because and also here because as at now GC hospital no I say should I need too strong so yeah it's another hospital be my things and kebebwa so I'm a boy na kebia ye to me say investing for Akwetia enya bad it me a rural bank so I see that one too is not bad so I put on a baby pine toilets.
However, Bernard Baidu, in his address after his official declaration, assured that he will honor his promise to the people of Akwatia.
We've always said that, you see, Akwatia's name has always been with regards to mining. You can't take away the mining, okay? We only have to do it lawfully. That's what we're going to work on. Where we are now is a GCD property. Hitherto, just before Dramani Mahama came to power, the place was in darkness. If you recall, we did the same coalition here and we had to put on some solar panels and all the lamps and all that. Today, and it wasn't because of the by-elections, it was even done before. Today we have electricity. It is the first step towards getting GCD back on track, which can employ thousands of people. There are other things we are looking at. Essentially, it is about development, and we will make sure we deliver.
Meanwhile, as the dust settles on the heated contest, the people of Akwatia say their verdict is clear. They want change that touches lives. Reporting for GHOne News, Abdulhanan Adam, Akwatia.
Well, so much jubilation in Akwatia a day after the by-election. But residents in the area are also excited and are saluting the Ghana Police Service for their job they say is a yeoman's job. You recall that about 5,000 police officers were detailed in Akwatia to ensure a successful by-election. But as they made their way out of Akwatia today, residents lined up along the streets to salute and also wave at the police, indicating their impression with the work of the police. Personnel of the Ghana Police Service being accorded that respect in Akwatia after the work they did on the grounds. But social media has been buzzing with a lot of comments on happenings in Akwatia yesterday. Nana Akwa is joining me with details of what you've been saying on social media. Nana, so where's the conversation focusing?
Well, Joshua, with all the celebration for some and commiseration for others, this is what people had to say concerning Ochri Berfi's comments about him resigning if MPP were not to have won. Now, Joseph says, no wonder MPP has lost credibility on the eyes of Ghanaians. You always take Ghanaians for granted. Kwabena Ketri says, we are on our way, jabbing for another by-election to paint their green. Ebenezer says it's indeed political talk, but remember, NPP had 159 seats and now reduced to 87 seats, and you want Ghanaians to take you people serious? We also have Mashoud. Whether or not this guy resigns, the by-election should be organised in his constituency. When we move over to Instagram, and Agno Green says, hashtag Honourable Berfi must resign. We also have Seska. Exactly. Development is why they voted for the NDC. Finish the road you people have started. Or we have Emmanuel Jemfu says, has a Kodjo resigned? Start from your house first and stop this pettiness. He's talking to the NDC there. Viper says, I agree with you, boss. The speaker must come in ASAP. Alexander says he likes it. It's about time people for Shande talk anyhow. We also have Bernard. Well. The speaker can't do anything about it, like to force him to resign. We have Emmy, who says some jokes indeed are expensive. We have Phyllis. He should just do the needful and resign. We also have Kodjo here, says A man who used a fake title. If he had an iota of shame, he should have resigned for using a fake title. We're talking about computer there. And that's what you had to tell us. That's what we have the time for. Send us your messages on Instagram, on Facebook, and on X, which is formerly Twitter. Joshua?
Interesting comments, but with Pidgin, it's not Sean, it's Sean, with the Sean letter. Well, let's shift focus from Akwetia and also look at other stories, topical among them being the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Araba Isaba Saki Tokono. Well, former Chief Justice herself, Sophia Akufo, has also waded into the discourse on the removal of Gertrude Saki Tokono. Now, her remarks come in response to President John Dramani Mahama's decision on September 1 to remove Justice Tokono following a recommendation from the Article 146 committee that investigated a petition citing stated misbehavior. Now, according to the former Chief Justice, she is warning that this sets a troubling precedent for the independence of Ghana's judiciary. So she raises two key points: that her successor was denied a fair opportunity to defend herself, and also Sophia Akufo, who serves on the Council of State, expressed deep concern over the way the case was managed, stating that the accusations against Justice Tokono were not serious enough to warrant such a drastic measure. Let's engage a private legal practitioner and a former member of parliament for Tamale Central, Inusa Fusheni. Alhaji, thank you so much for joining us. So I recall speaking to you on Monday when this news broke. You mentioned that there is no unconstitutionality happening here. But then the retired CJ says two things. That first, her successor was not given fair hearing, and also she believes that the grounds for removal do not warrant such an action. What's your reaction?
Good afternoon to you, and thank you for having me. First of all, I'm sorry to say that former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo's comments are not borne out by what happened at the committee, because we know from the chairman's remarks that the committee received evidence from the petitioner, and Madam Tokono herself was afforded the opportunity to defend herself. In her defense, she called 14 witnesses. The petitioner called 12 or 13 witnesses. 10,000 pieces of evidence, documentary evidence, were submitted. If this is not adequate opportunity given to Madam Tokono to defend herself, I do not know what other opportunity that the Chief Justice, former Chief Justice Sophia Akufo, is referring to. Now, the Article 146 of the Constitution sets the grounds. Yes, admittedly, Article 146 does not set the standard. It says the ground.
Right.
Now, I don't know whether Chief Justice Sophia Akufo is arrogating to herself the power to set the standards, because we don't see standards in Article 146, 1 of the Constitution. The grounds for the removal of justices of the Superior Court of Judicature and chairman of regional tribunals is provided in Article 146.1. So for her to say that the threshold for an offense committed under Article 146.1, which ought to result in the removal of a justice of the Superior Court of Judicature, should be high, is a matter of her own opinion. It's not borne out by the Constitution. It's not borne. I mean, we don't even have regulations or the Rules of Court Committee has not presented to Parliament, and Parliament has not enacted into law the procedure and processes that should be used for the removal process in Article 146.1. So again, I'm left with no choice than saying that what she said is simply her opinion, and it's not borne out by the Constitution or by any other law.
Well, one thing that is not necessarily her opinion alone, because I've spoken to other people who also seem to hold that view when they talk about the fact that this particular removal sets a bad precedent for the independence of the judiciary. How do you react to that?
doesn't set a bad precedent for the independence of the judiciary. I think that it actually enhances the independence of the judiciary. I mean, and also puts a lead on the abuse of office or